This is my hypothetical solar home. It is made out of mostly cardboard, aluminum foil, and constructed with tape, and the interior has napkin on it to represent a thermal mass. At first glance, you can see that the solar house model is longer on the east-west axis than it is on the north-south axis. This is for daylighting purposes. The south side of the house has a hypothetical, unobstructed view of the sun. So there would be nothing behind it if I were to build this real house to optimize the amount of sunlight that would come in this way. The house has a northward orientation, which would be this way. So the way that the door faces here is the door, so this is the front of the house. And this optimizes the amount of sun it receives each day. The house is proportionately very tall in order to increase the light of each story by allowing for higher windows. The windows high up here and these ones on top are very high, so the sun can come in without being deflected by trees or something like that. And those skylights are on top of the building to increase the daylight that lights the house. The roof of the house is angled slightly downward, and this allows for optimal solar heating. The overhang serves to shade part of the building to keep the house cool. This happens when the summer sun is in place, so it would be coming in from up top, and it wouldn't be able to reach the window because this would be obstructing it. However, in the winter, the sun would be more to the side over here, so that it would be able to come in down and enter the house. So it's all about the placement of the sun. In the summer, this overhang provides shade to the vertical south windows, which are, again, down here. My hypothetical solar home has aerodynamic curves. These help reduce heat loss by their shape. So the construction of a building is very important because its properties can influence the way that heat enters the home. And my compact floor plan helps avoid heat loss to the outside. This is supposed to be my floor, which would be made out of granite, but right now it is currently a fluffy pillow that the house is sitting on. So the granite would be placed underneath carpet that would be inside of the house, right under here. And then the granite would either absorb or release heat from the ground, depending on the season. So it's a conductor. And in my house, I have inserted 2 trombe walls to increase the solar heat gain in my house. These are placed near the south-facing windows inside here, which I will show in a moment, of the solar house. There is a glazing space in front of them to allow for airspace. The pink of the walls represents a dark color, and these walls should consist of brick thermal mass. So I'm able to lift up my house so I can show these trombe walls. So they would be in here and people could walk around, and they're near the window so the light can come in, and then they're supposed to absorb the heat. The walls of my house also consist of thermal mass concrete. So this is the wall. It's represented by a napkin, but it would be a darker shade if it were concrete. So it's inside all around here, except for the ceiling, which is an oatmeal box, but just ignore that. These walls will both absorb heat from the sunlight in the heating season and from warm air in the house during the cooling season. These walls are, again, composed of concrete. The outside cardboard that is the base of my house represents any typical siding for a house that serves to cover up the concrete. I have a vent on the side of my house, which can either restrict or allow for airflow. The vent is pink. And this building is sealed well to prevent air leaks. I have windows which are all able to be opened, hypothetically if they weren't taped down. And they can be opened all the way, part of the way, or closed depending on the strength, direction, and temperature of the wind. This natural ventilation mechanism uses outside air movement to cool and ventilate the building. So the air would just come in, and it could either just go in the house if this window were open and stay in there if it were closed on the other side, this window, or it could just flow in and out all day. And finally, the long horizontal strip windows on the top of the house are at least 20% of the floor area. So the floor area on the bottom is the same as the top area. This promotes the entering of sunlight into the home from the top of the solar house. So one last look at the house as a whole. And this is supposed to be more sustainable because it relies on sun power and it's supposed to reduce energy consumption for homeowners. So that's it.